Alright boys, we're back again, Reggie versus Salas, with another guide. Wanted to get this quick video out and talk quickly about consumables. So, I was doing a little talking with my guild. You know, I watch S-Fan, and he always saying that if you're juiceful, you're useful. If you're juiceless, you're useless, right? And it goes to tell the story about consumables, how that can make you a better raider. Now, I am not a good raider by any stretch of the imagination. I always say that, but the one thing that my guild will know is that I come prepared for raid, right? And you come with your consumables. To me, that's the funnest part of the game of raiding, preparing for raid, is farming, gathering consumables, using the consumables in the raid. When the raid's done, you get the loot, and then you're preparing yourself to get the consumables again, right? It's an ongoing thing that makes, it's a meta game within Classic WoW. So, and this is for the Horde side. Of course, you can use the consumables for Alliance, but the consumables and Wind Fury is the key to making the two-handed warrior work, especially Horde side. So, I'm able to get top DPS in my guild using a two-handed weapon as a warrior, and a lot of people aren't able to do that. They say, of course, as far as the meta right now is one-handed axes or swords and things like that, but I'm able to do it with, of course, bitching about Wind Fury and also bring the consumables. So I want to make a quick guide to show you guys the consumables that I use. A lot of people has been asking about which consumables I use, and I always talk about it on stream, so I wanted to make a quick video dedicated to that for you guys right now. So let's get into it, boys. This is consumables for two-handed warrior, preferably Horde side, but Alliance can use it. Also, you know, any class can use it, but this is more specifically for melee classes. So let's get into it. Let me show you guys what I'm rocking with right now as I prepare for raid tonight. Let's get to it right now.
You got knocked the fuck out, man!
Over here on Gressel, I'm ranking to rank 12. So that's going to be kind of my summer grind, is getting to rank 12 so I can get the boots and the legs. Specifically for Gressel here, which is going to be my BIS. I'm going into phase 5 AQ. All right, so I'm on Gressel here. Let me get a quick breakdown of what he's rocking right now. This is the raid gear, of course, not PvP. Lionheart helm. Of course, I'm an undead warrior, so I want to get 9%. I know you guys see 8% here, but I want to go through these fire toasted buns. There's only 5 days left, so I'm going to actually be under hit cap for this raid, so I can blow through these and get them out the way. And I can actually rock my Flame Guard gauntlets, which I've had for a while. So he's watching, of course, your Lionheart helm. You get a 2% hit on that. He's rocking the Onyxia Tooth Pendant. I'm rocking these right now until I get the Defiler's shoulders, which will be my best. But I'm rocking the taut Dragonhide shoulder pads. A real quick key on these is they have more stamina and more attack power than your Paladins of Might. A lot of warriors are rocking the Paladins of Might. If these drop, and most raids only have, you know, 1 to 3 druids at the max, these are gonna, if these are continuing to drop in your raid, these are a great alternative for rogues or warrior DPS. Good for PvP also with 30 stamina. I tend to kind of use these for PvP because I like the look, but you can definitely use these for PvP. There's less armor, of course, so that's kind of another reason why I use these. But these are really good. I use these right now until I'm able to get the Defilers exalted. See the 30 stamina and 46 attack power. It's more than the 22 stamina here, and your 15 strength is only 30 attack power. So that's why a lot of people don't realize that. But if you do the math, get into the sims of it, min-maxing, these taut Dragonhide shoulder pads are an upgrade over your Might shoulders. So just a key on that one here too. I also have the Dragonblood's Cape, which is more stamina, so I use those for PvP. But right now I need some agility, so that's why I'm going with the Shifting Cloak, which is basically 1% crit with the agility enchant on it. So I'm going with those. I was lucky enough to get the Breastplate of Chromatic Flight. So that's pretty good. Have these here. This is going to be pretty good because I already have the Savage Gladiator chain on my main warrior. So I'm rocking here. I have both the Chromatic Defiler and the Chromatic Flight sets off of from Ubers. So I was lucky enough to get both of those. Real quick, wrist guards of True Flight, Super Bis. I won't replace this for a long time because it gives me that 1% hit chance. So I'm trying to get the onslaught girdle on this guy also. Hopefully I can get that soon. That'll be an upgrade. Right now I'm rocking the Zandalari, which is a good alternative until you get your onslaught girdle. Flame guard gauntlets are also gauntlets of might. I interchangeably go through, switch out via these. Also the sacrificial gauntlets from ZG is an upgrade. Either of those gloves are good. Either one of those. You have different options you can be able to get depending on your raids and your roles. Boots, the bloodmail boots from I think Scholomance. These are Bis. You're gonna be rocking these until you get your pink boots, basically. Get your Barbie boots from Chromagus. Master Dragon Slayer's ring and the Don Julio's band. You do your AV Exalted as a warrior, as a caster. Everyone should really be going for AV Exalted. There's a ton of rep rewards and a sweet mount, which is cheaper than your Horde or Orgrimmar or Undead or Tauren mounts. It's actually cheaper once you get Exalted with AV. So they have a slew of rewards. Everyone should just go through it. I did it in 2 days when it first came out on my first warrior, and on my second warrior it took about a week. But it's definitely worth it. Queue it up and get Exalted. This ring you're going to be using well into AQ, which is phase 5, of course. I rock the Dark Moon card Maelstrom. I have it on both characters, but you can use your Black Hand's Breath and your Hodge. That's fine. It's just preference on what you want. I'm able to do top DPS on both my characters, and I don't use Hodge or Black Hand's Breath. So that tells you a lot of people are min-maxers. I'm able to, I bring my DPS to the table. You can check the logs. I'm top DPS, and I use this. If you don't like it, fuck it. But I'm gonna, I rock both of these, and I can be able to put the numbers and show you the logs that I'm gonna be better DPS than people using Hodge or Black Hand's Breath, and the numbers don't lie. So whatever. And then of course you're using your Diamond Flask here. Pretty good. You're going to be using these every 6 minutes, basically on boss fights. If you're back to back on your on those Drakes in Blackwing Lair, you use this one of them, and then the next one you can just switch out from one of your other trinkets, and you're good to go. So that's the gear, and how my consumables match up with that gear is this. So with two-handed warriors, you're going to be rage starved. You're going to have Wind Fury, of course. That's the only way it works is Wind Fury. So you get you a Chamois who's got half a brain cell that's going to keep the Wind Fury totem down. Without Wind Fury, you're going to be third tier DPS. With Wind Fury and your consumables buffed up, keeping your buffs, you have to have those 3 in succession. You have a chance to be in the top 3 of DPS. Of course, it's your rotation, but you have to have your consumables. You got to stay alive having your buffs, and then you got to have Wind Fury totem down. So for Alliance, of course, unless you're like a Ret Paladin or something like that, then the two-handed is not going to work for you. You want to go your one-handed. But for Horde, two-handed warriors, if you have those 3, you can do monster DPS. The third part of that is, of course, consumables. That's what this guide is really about. What I normally go with, since everyone was asking, is Winterfall Firewater. I try to have 20 of them. As you can see here, I'm rocking with 20. You're going to have that. You get those from Winter Spring. Farm them up, get them off the auction house. The High Chief Winterfall has like a 75% chance to drop one. You definitely want to farm those up. I try to trade 20 of those in there. The next one, Elixir of Fortitude. Underrated elixir. It increases your health by 120 for 1 hour. So you're going to be popping these. I normally take about 10. I go through about 7 or 8 once we go through Blackwing Lair and Molten Core, and you're gonna have some left over unless you're progressing in a guild that's progressing through it. For the majority, you're gonna just be able to have 10, be good to go. I'm gonna get to these buffs in a second. As you can see here, I have the Blasterlands buffs, I have the ZG buffs, potions, and then I have the Ungoro Crater buffs also. I come prepared, So rage potions. This is the key. This is your key for me to do top DPS, especially when we get to getting into Molten Core after Blackwing Lair. I'm going to be top 3 DPS, top 5 in Blackwing Layer right now. I'm going to be top 3 in Molten Core, because of course you do your Blackwing Layer, you do your Molten Core right after, because I'm carrying 35 to 40 rage potions every 2 minutes, unless you have a fight that requires you to use a potion of some sort, like a free action or something like that. You're going to be popping your rage potions. They're dirt cheap. They're always dirt cheap on your auction house. I'm on a low pop server, and they're still super cheap here. So imagine you're on a high pop like Feralina or Herod or Kiranax or Stalag or Katonos or whatever those big servers are, Fairbanks, Whitemane, Globulus. They're going to be dirt cheap on those servers. So that's what you want to do, is you want to have your rage potions. You're popping those every 2 minutes when you're rage starved. You're rage starved. You're trying to get off a special attack. You pop a nice cheap rage potions if you're filthy rich, or you can go with the major rage potions, or the one that costs Grom's blood. And those, of course, gives you a strength buff on top of rage. So you can go with those. But for a cheap alternative option, I'm showing you, this is kind of my second main. Not because I put a lot of work into them. I don't want to call them an alt anymore. But I have 2 warriors. With this one, in order to make it work, you're popping rage potions often. So I come with like 30 to 35, sometimes 40 rage potions, and I'm popping those throughout the raid to maximize my DPS potential. So that's what I'm doing with that there. Lips, your limited invulnerability potion. I normally take from 5 to 10 of these. You can be popping those if you pull aggro. Remember, it's an aggro dump. So you pop them. You go to the bottom of the aggro table. It's good on like Brew Lord, since it's the aggro dump there. It's good on the packs of mobs with the flame casters and things like that in Blackwing Lair. It's good for that. Your free action potions, 5 to 10 of those, and you'll be good to go. Now we're not really progressing for fire potions. You take a stack. Right now I'm going to be risking it, taking 1 of each. That's all I have, and they're super expensive on my server. They're like 5 gold a pop. On private servers, they were always like 3 gold. So I'm like, what the fuck is 5 gold for 1, which is 25 a stack. But if you can have them if you're progressing, or if you have a lack of healers, then you're gonna want to take more fire protection potions. But 5 to 10 of those for each is fine. You can use these little ones for trash, and of course use the bigger ones for boss fights. You'll be good to go. Moving on. Elixir of Giants, like I said, these do not stack with your Juju powers, but in order to conserve your Juju powers, this is a cheaper option, Elixir of Giants, which is 25 strength for 1 hour. This one here is 30 strength, 30 minutes. So also for longer fights or longer instances, you could pop one of these, as long as if you're not progressing, you're not dying. This is going to go longer because it's one of these per 2 of your Juju powers. And they do not stack. So if you have this already there, you can't even use it. On private servers, of course, you can use it, but it's not going to do anything because this is overriding it. It's a little different on classic, which is a little better. But you can use these for your trash packs, and still have 25 strength, which is 50 attack power. If you're a warrior, of course. I'm talking warriors because that's the main class that I play. So you can be able to use that. I normally take just one stack in there and good to go, but you don't have to. You can come in with 40 of these Juju powers. I've done that before too. And now you just pop in Juju powers and saying, forget the Elixir of Giants. But that's personal preference for me. Moving on. Greater Arcane Protection Potion. So this is really good for the first fight in Blackwing Layer when you're fighting Razorgore. The mages cast... they have like an AoE spell, which is arcane. You can use these if like I said, you have the money or you have an alchemist, and also it's good for Shazor if I'm not mistaken, for Molten Core. You could pop one of these when you get to like Baron Geddon, survive it, and then you have your second one to pop when you're DPSing Shazor down, and that way as long as you got some decent heals, you have that one up. That's going to soak up a lot of his damage for the first half of the fight. In the second half, especially because we're burning it now, it's a burn phase. Then you pop your next one. You can, pop your rack, pop all your cooldowns, knock them out, top DPS. For the last like 4 raids, I've been top DPS on that fight using that strategy. Of course, I talked lips already. Here's what I can do. Okay, So like I said, I'm a min-maxer when it comes to that, but I'm not a good raider. But I love trash packs. So I'm going to be really good as far as high DPS in AQ because I'm going to be doing everything I can to maximize my trash damage. That's what I like to do. I like to do whirlwinds. I like that, big numbers when it comes to those flame whelps and Blackwing Lair. AQ, the bug packs, I'm going to be top DPS right there. That's how I like to play it. A lot of people just like to focus in on boss damage. That's cool. I'm not one of those people. But if you want to play the game like that, hey, it's your $15. Play it. I don't recommend it, but that's how you want to play. Oh well. But what I like to do here, do my Olive immolations on the trash packs, especially the whelps and things like that when we're moving through the suppression room. That's to me, that's jackpot. I'm in a casino. I'm popping these. This is kind of a low. I normally come with like 40 of these, 30 to 40, and I'm just popping them. I'm doing my whirlwinds. I'm doing my death wish on cooldown. I'm popping. We're doing big damage. We're also casting some of these crystal charges. Of course, now I kind of keep them because I'm an engineer now. You do your iron grenades or your big bombs. I'm just doing a lot of AoE trash damage. That's my MO. So these are going to be gone by the time I get to the suppression room. The end of that, those are gone. The next one, Mighty Trollblood's potion. So you can go with the expensive one here, which is Major Trollblood's potion. I didn't use this in classics. I mean in private servers because it's 20 health. These are so much cheaper and it's 12 health. Basically, I want to use these for like your Fire Maw fights, your kind of longer fights where that 12 that you're gaining every 5 seconds could be make or break as far as the fight goes. Especially fights where you got to bandage up like Fire Maw. These are a good way to also be gaining that health when your bandage is on cooldown or in conjunction with your bandage. So I bring about 10 of these and we're good to go. Next one. Probably the biggest one, Elixir of Mongoose. For all melee classes, Feral Druids, Rogues, you guys should be using Elixir of Mongoose. This is a low amount. I normally come in with 15, maybe 20 of these. If you look at the on use of it, it's almost like a mini buff, like a mini Songflower buff. If you read it with me, it says increases agility by 25 and your chance to get critical strike and critical hit by 2 for 1 hour. That's 3 and almost a half % crit increase to your critical strike chance. So these are bread and butter. You should be definitely having. I like I said, I like to have consumables 15 and 20 on both my characters, and I'm going in guns blazing. This is probably the most beneficial elixir for melee classes to me. And this is, like I said, only my opinion. People asked. I'm bringing that out down there. Of course, the Reddit's going to chime in on what they choose, what they think it should be, whatever. This is my perspective though. For fun, I like to have, of course, my Naga-Fogger. That's why I'm in Tenaris right now, getting this, and then going from there. Food buffs, real quick. I like to bring a stack of sunfruit. I still use them because I kind of reserve the smoked desert dumplings for bosses. So if you look at it, and of course your sappers if you want to get spicy with it, you bring your sappers if you're an engineer, all good to go. What I like to do is I like to have my sunfruit on the trash packs or trash. I like to still have my strength up because that's 20 attack power. I have my sunfruit there. When it gets time to the boss, I'm popping one of my smoked desert dumplings. And smoked desert dumplings is going to be your best food for melee classes until classic's over. So I save these for bosses, farm them out on my downtime, or I'm waiting for my PvP queues, and then you go from there. I use my Tender Wolf Steak. I still keep a stack, which is 20. I still keep a stack of those for like Fire Maw fights or high fights where you're going to need a hell of a lot of stamina. It's more of a survivability fight. I will pop one of these, and I go through about 5 or 6 per raid. So having all of these, of course, you got your flasks. We're not really flasking up, but AQ comes, you're going to be having your flask. I like to have like 5 of them on me, just in case it's a long progression night. I have them on me, keep about 5, you're good to go. This guy's an alchemist, so I can go in the Blackwing Lair and make some new ones. So the Black Lotus is cheap now, so all good. But that's kind of my thing here. I use these for like farming, so I don't use them really in raid. but I, just have them here for whatever. But yeah, and of course you have your Juju Powers, you have your Juju Mites. This server, for some reason, they don't farm Juju Mites, but I know big servers, they get their Frostmaw Echo farm, and you have packs where you're just going around, or your multi-boxing mages, or some things like that. For some reason, my server doesn't farm them at all. I guess they don't realize it's a thing. It's a lot of retail players here, though, so it may not be what their MO is or what they used to. But on private servers, we always farm, so I had my Juju Mites and my Juju Powers. On my main character, I have the Frostmaw Echo, Frost Shard Echo. So I have the Flurry one, and I also have the one that increases your fire resistance on my main character. But I don't have those on this character. Like I said, it's my second main, but those will be consumables too. Real quick before we go, because I know it's a longer video, your Blasted Lands buffs are your first priority. I always keep all of them on me, because you never know if you're going to need stamina or your agility if you're low on agility. So I always pop this after my Songflower runs out. Pro tip, I pop this after my Songflower runs out. That way I still have some elevated crit chance. I'm normally popping the Roids first to bring the maximum DPS as far as two-handed spec goes. I'm popping this first. If we're progressing or we die, we do it to a wipe or something like that. Of course, there's an hour cooldown for your Blasted Lands buffs. That's a pro tip. Hour-long cooldown for your Blasted Lands buffs. So in the meantime, that's when I go to my ZG potions. And I'm popping, this is stamina, this is your speed, your player's run speed, and then this is, of course, 3% hostile spell reflect for 2 hours. You're going to be using this also for like KT and things like that too. For these, quick, like I use this like on Brew Lord, don't really need to bring them, but for Brew Lord, any increased armor chance, I'm going to be using these. This, of course, trash packs and things like that, if you're not an engineer, is really good. You got your sappers here too, but it's a 5-minute cooldown on sappers. This, I think it's like a minute or 2 cooldown. And then, of course, here, it's basically a mini thorns. I like to have that if I'm taking damage for the whelps. You get some return damage going on there. It's a mini thorns if you don't have a druid in your raid. So that's pretty much it, boys. So we have these here. Reggie versus Solace consumable guide / how to effectively consume up for two-handed warriors, especially horde side. You're going to be able to need these in order to do top DPS. So you can check the logs. Those raids are also up on the YouTube channel. Reggie versus Solace on the YouTube. You'll be able to see it all there. I'm pretty much top 5 DPS every week because I'm coming in, consuming having my buffs, coming consumed up, and playing smart and knowing when to manage my cooldowns. That's basically it, boys. You can do that while clicking. You can do that while clicking too. It's classic. It's a lot slower than retail. So that's kind of my guide there, boys. It was kind of a 2-parter as far as consumables and also effective ways to play as a two-handed warrior. You can still do top DPS. My name is Reggie versus Solace. You can check out the stream. We stream every Friday, every Monday, and then sometimes we're doing some PvP throughout the week also. Twitch.tv Reggie versus Solace, boys. Come check it out. We're pushing in on 3,000. So that's a good thing there too, boys. We're going to be having some more content. Hopefully go to some Twitch cons if they get announced again for later on in the year, so I can meet some of you guys. DB Delight server, of course. The fish server. Yes, that is us. I am the raid lead, of course. I'm not raid lead, but the warrior lead for the Guild Purge. I have one-handed warrior, Warblade, and he's hopefully getting his Thunder Fury bindings this Sunday. The second binding, hopefully that drops. I'm next in line for that, so that's going to be awesome. He just got CTS last week. And then, of course, on this warrior, Gressel, he's doing his PvP grind, but he also is rocking the Ashkandi. And I think I'm the only warrior in the guild that has it right now. I went to Hunters first. So I'm able to do top DPS on both warriors, and they play completely different. One-handed warriors are going to be generating rage faster, and of course you got to be smart with your two-handed warrior in order to maximize the chances that you do have rage and your damage output potential. So that's kind of why you're consuming a little different with them also. But that's what it is, boys. Consumable guide. We'll post this one up to YouTube. Please sub to the YouTube. We're trying to grow that out to get 1,000 followers there. And then on Twitch, we're pushing in on 3,000. So everything, social media, Reggie versus Solace. There's also Instagram and a Twitter. Also, Facebook Gaming. There's a fan page there too. You guys can come on there. You see the raids and guides and things like that. Everything Reggie versus Hollis boys. Also, Swordsmith, DV Delight. I just realized I am the only swordsmith on that server. So if you guys are trying to play, it's a perfect time to come to play Classic WoW. I'd probably make a video on that too. If you want to play, we have a Discord. Everything is in the description link below. But Swordsmith, if you guys are Alliance and watching the VOD or stream, I can make your thorium rep weapons, the dagger, the polearm, and the sword. I can make those. I am the only. I would say I'm Horde's swordsmith, but I'm also there's no swordsmith in Alliance, so I'm that also. We can make that happen. You just make a character or come to Booty Bay. We can do a trade. I can make your swords and things like that, boys. I'm all swords, all warriors. I'm your guy. But yeah, let's have a good time, boys. And of course, you can come on over. You know, this guy with the raspy voice and shit. Who the fuck is he? Come on over to the stream and find out, man. We'll have more things in common than you think. All right, boys. Once again, Reggie vs. Solace, all social media. Hopefully this guide finds you in good health. Please stay safe, guys, and happy streaming.